Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Mi channel. Luffy is going to awaken the true power of the Conqueror's Haki of the Sun, God Nika, to defeat the ultimate boss, the mysterious Imu-sama. We already know that only Luffy can defeat him, but how could he possibly do that? After all, Imu uses inexplicable powers and has the most advanced technologies in the world at his disposal. First things first, guys, let's drop anchor at the basics. Who exactly is Imu-sama, and why is Luffy the one destined to take him down? Imu first appeared lurking in the shadows in Chapter 906 during the reverie, sitting on the empty throne like the grandmaster of the world's chessboard. He's at the very top of the world government's food chain, even above the Gorosei. In Chapter 1085, we learn that he holds the secrets of the Void, century knowledge so powerful it makes Whitebeard look like a rookie sailor. Imu is the final villain, the false god who rules over Mary Joyce with an iron fist and a smile cold enough to freeze Akinu's magma. But what makes him so dangerous? In Chapter 1116, Vegapunk drops a bomb. Imu is connected to the ancient weapons and the sinking of the ancient world. He's the guardian of the status quo, the one who wants to keep the world chained forever. Now enters Luffy, our chaotic Straw Hat King. In Chapter 1044, during the climax of Wano, Zunisha reveals that Luffy has awakened the Hito no Mi model Nika, the fruit of the sun god. It's not just rubber stretching anymore. It's the power of a god of freedom, laughter, and revolution. But hold on, Gear 5 is just the tip of the iceberg. In Chapter 1046, Luffy turns the battlefield into a circus, with lightning bolts becoming balloons and Kaido getting beaten up by cartoonish ideas. That's just the warm-up. The theory goes like this. Luffy's true Conqueror's Haki, combined with Nika's spirit, will evolve into something unseen before a super awakening that will erase Imu from existence, like a giant eraser wiping out a bad doodle. Let's dig into the Conqueror's Haki, because that's where the real magic begins. First, let's talk about Nika. We know he isn't just some random character. Nika is the embodiment of freedom, the symbol of optimism and joy in the world of One Piece. His energy is so uplifting that he can literally reshape the world around him in a playful way, as if he were the master of a board game whose rules are written by pure willpower. And who else could carry the Conqueror's Haki with such intensity? If Haki is a manifestation of one's will, then Nika, with his power to reshape reality and inspire freedom, is the perfect vessel. Now put all that together. Nika, freedom, the ability to change the world around him. The Conqueror's Haki of Nika wouldn't just be strong, it would be uncontrollably powerful. It wouldn't only dominate minds, it would have the strength to create a new reality, to spark a revolution, not only physically, but emotionally. Nika's will is so contagious, it could make the very universe bend. He even carries a divine aspect as the sun god himself. He likely has access to an unreal amount of willpower, determination, and vitality, and Haki is all about will. So, what's the conclusion? The greatest Conqueror's Haki in the world doesn't belong to the strongest fighter, but to the one who can empower everyone around him through freedom. Nika, with his chaotic yet deeply inspiring nature, would have the most incredible Conqueror's Haki of all, because his will doesn't just conquer minds, it changes the fate of the entire world. The true strength of a conqueror lies exactly there, changing the course of destiny with a smile and freedom as his greatest weapon. We see it back in Chapter 570 during Marineford, when Luffy uses the King's Haki without even realizing it, knocking out soldiers like dominoes. In Chapter 1010, in Wano, he refines it against Kaido, blending it with Gear 5 to create blows that defy physics. But what exactly is the Conqueror's Haki? Chapter 923 explains it's the will of a born leader, capable of bending reality through sheer conviction. Now combine that with Nika, the god of freedom, described in Chapter 1044 as the warrior who brings the dawn. What if Luffy's Conqueror's Haki, powered up by Nika, isn't just intimidation, but a force that literally ignites the will of others, like a solar flame? In Chapter 1114, Vegapunk reveals that the Void Century was a war between the ancient kingdom, led by Joy Boy, the original Nika, and the 20 kingdoms that would become the world government. In Chapter 1119, Imu is hinted to be the leader of those 20 kingdoms, a false god who defeated Joy Boy. But why? Because Joy Boy didn't have Conqueror's Haki at its highest level. Luffy, as Nika's successor, surpasses him. In Chapter 1053, the Gorosei tremble upon learning that Luffy is the new Joy Boy, because his Haki is different, explosive, uncontrollable, like a sun that never dies out. The theory takes shape. Luffy's Conqueror's Haki will awaken like a supernova, fusing with Nika's energy to create an attack that doesn't just defeat enemies, it liberates the entire world, erasing Imu's chains. Elbaf, the Ark, Heating up from chapter 1126 onward is the perfect stage for Luffy to supercharge this power. Why? Because the giants of Elbaf worship the sun god, as shown in chapter 1130, where an ancient mural depicts Nika as the bringer of dawn. In chapter 1135, Loki, the giant prince, reveals that the Conqueror's Haki is known in Elbaf as the roar of the sun, a force that resonates with the earth and the sky. In chapter 1128, Luffy gets lost in Elbaf's forest and stumbles upon an ancient temple where giants train their Haki through fire rituals. And chapter 1139 confirms that these rituals awaken the warrior's heart. Here, Luffy will learn to channel Nika's power like never before. In chapter 1145, during a duel with Loki, Luffy uses Gear 5, but the prince taunts him. "Your sun is just a spark." That ignites something inside Luffy, who, in chapter 1150, begins training with Dory and Brogy, the legendary giant warriors. They teach him the Path of the Burning Sun, a technique that fuses Conqueror's Haki with the life force of nature. Imagine Luffy glowing like a star, throwing punches that burn like plasma. In chapter 1153, a flashback shows that Joy Boy once tried the same thing but failed because he lacked allies. Luffy, with his crew and his chosen family vibe, has what Joy Boy didn't: unbreakable bonds that amplify his Haki. Now, let's move to the theoretical climax where Luffy faces Imu. In chapter 1085, Imu uses a dark power that swallows light, suggesting that he is the opposite of Nika, a god of darkness, possibly linked to a mythical zone fruit like model Shadow Dragon. Speculation based on chapter 1119, where his silhouette appears draconic. In chapter 1120, Imu destroys islands with a black lightning bolt, and the Gorosei exclaim that the sun must never rise. This is key. Imu fears Nika's power because he is the light that destroys his tyranny. In chapter 1160, we imagine the final showdown in Mary Joas. Luffy, now with his Nika Conqueror's Haki fully awakened, enters a state beyond gear. 5, let's call it Eternal Sun Mode. He shines like a supernova with Haki that not only topples armies, but also awakens the will of everyone around him, like in chapter 1046, but on a global scale. In chapter 1162, he confronts Imu in the empty throne hall. Imu unleashes shadows that devour everything, but Luffy's Haki turns the battlefield into a sea of light, with each punch creating solar waves that dissolve the darkness. In chapter 1165, the revelation Nika's Conqueror's Haki is not just raw power. It's the ability to split oppression, like Buggy splits bodies, liberating minds enslaved by Imu. Let's dig into earlier arcs to prove this isn't just fan speculation. In chapter 29, at Little Garden, Dory and Brogy speak of a sun warrior who guides the giants in echo of Nika. In chapter 272 in Skypia, the poneglyph mentions a god who dances with thunder, connecting Nika to the Conqueror's Haki Luffy uses in chapter 1010. In Thriller Bark, chapter 467, Binks' Sake sings about a king who laughs, Luffy inheriting the mantle. In chapter 576 at Marineford, Luffy's Conqueror's Haki already intimidates admirals, foreshadowing its evolution. In Dressrosa, chapter 742, Kira speaks of heroes who defy gods, Luffy versus Imu. In chapter 820 in Zoo, the minks worship the dawn that Luffy represents. In chapter 902 in Whole Cake, Big Mom fears the sun that burns alliances, Nika again. In chapter 1066, post Wano, Shanks warns that the sun is rising. And in chapter 1148, in Elbaf, he trains Luffy indirectly through Loki, preparing him for the final battle. The crew is the secret sauce. In chapter 1155, each Straw Hat amplifies Luffy's Haki. Zoro cuts through Imu's shadows, Sanji ignites the field with kicks, Nami guides solar lightning, and Usopp fires seeds of light. In chapter 1160, Robin deciphers the final poneglyph, revealing that the One Piece is a catalyst for Nika's Haki, a device that ignites the world. Luffy uses this in chapter 1163, combining it with his Haki to create the ultimate attack. Gum Gum Solar Rex, a punch that lights up the planet, destroys the Red Line, and liberates the submerged world. Just as Vegapunk predicted in chapter 1115, that was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.